Welcome everyone to our Single Touch Payroll 2 Part B webinar. My name is Dhruv and I'll be stepping you through today's session with the housekeeping. I'll then pass it over to Malika, our payroll consultant, who will demonstrate the migration from STP1 to STP2 in Wagemaster software. Now I know that this is a lot of an extra time and work that needs to be spent to get ready for the next phase. However, we have to get it done and it has been implemented by the ATO. We are here to make your transition just a little bit easier and guide you through best practices to follow to be compliant with the upcoming changes. So regarding STP2 compliance, we'll go with that first. In 2019-2020 budget, the government announced that Single Touch Payroll, or STP, would be expanded to include additional information to STP2. Acrimaster needs to be in compliance with the changes made by Australian government. STP2 reduces the reporting burden for employers by streamlining information for your employees to multiple government agencies. No need to manually report. So the employers don't need to do the following: send tax file number declarations to the ATO, provide lump sum e-letters to the employees, provide separation certificates on the termination. STP2 allows employers to do the following: your bookkeeper to report using their name in STP2 reporting, payroll information to report at real time to Services Australia, report in real time to Services Australia. Most benefits to the employees are following. Most of the data will be pre-filled and ready for individual income tax returns. Employees can provide the correct information if they have reported incorrectly, example, overtime, study and training support loan, etc. Streamlining claims. Services Australia will receive the payroll information in real time. STP information will be used to assist with outstanding debts to the Commonwealth. So what's not changing? You'll still be processing your STP via the same steps that you take currently. The due date for your reporting requirements has no changes either. Your tax and superannuation obligations have no changes, although superannuation increases to 11% in financial year 23-24. Your end of financial year requirements will still remain the same. The key changes in STP2 are de-aggregation of gross. Previously, the gross amount that was reported on behalf of the clients and their businesses contained different type of amounts depending on the income type. With STP2, components of gross earnings are now itemized separately, with all payment types being reported consistently for each income type. This is to streamline the different income assessments required by government agencies. Termination. A reason for termination is mandatory when an employee finishes their employment. Previously, an employer may be asked to provide an employee with an employment separation certificate upon employee's termination of employment. STP2 requires the reason of termination to be included in the STP reporting sent to the ATO, and so takes away the need for an employment separation certificate to be issued to the employees altogether. Working holiday maker country of origin. Employers' registration for working holiday maker now have a separate checkbox in STP Taxation Setup. Also, country of origin for working holiday maker employees need to be updated. Employment and tax conditions. Previously, a tax file number declaration was required to be submitted to the ATO, dealing with the tax information for clients, new employees, and any existing employees where their tax situation changes. STP2 incorporates employees' tax information via STP reporting, thus eliminating the need to submit the tax file number declaration to the ATO as a separate process. If you're a registered employer for working holiday maker, you need to make additional changes in tax configuration setup, which we'll go through later. Lump sum e-letters. At present, our payroll providers client are required to provide lump sum e-letters to employees each financial year. The STP changes means that this information is in the pay event prior to finalization of pay income statement, and so takes away the need of lump sum e-letter to be provided altogether. Child support. Previously, a deduction report had to be submitted on behalf of an employer to the relevant child support agencies when they deduct the child support from an employee's pay. STP2 allows child support deductions or garnishes to be reported via pay event, thus removing the need to report separately every month. This is initially voluntary reporting, and if clients do not choose to report via STP monthly reporting, they will need to continue as per the existing process. Business management. If you have a bookkeeper or an external party processing wages on your behalf, you do not need a BMS or pay ID. You just need to make sure that the name of submission form is of the person reporting wages on your behalf. Unpaid leaves. Unpaid leaves can now be excluded from STP2 reporting. Example of unpaid leaves would be unpaid sick leaves, unpaid carers leave, etc. Allowance and tax category reporting has changed. Additional allowance types codes have been added to meet the new reporting requirement. This allows the ATO to assist the employee when completing their individual tax returns. Acrimaster will present STP2 in 2 stages in a form of free webinars. As said earlier, this new regulation must be followed to comply with the government law. Stage 1, we have covered this in the previous webinar. However, if anyone's missed this, you can find all of the required resources in the Acrimaster Help Center by going on the website and searching for STP2. Today, we will focus on STP2 execution. In order to be ready for the cutoff date, which is extended to 30th of September 2023, is by following the housekeeping steps we have created for you, so you have seamless transition. Make sure your STP2 Part A is complete. If there were any updates or changes after the mapping that you might have done earlier, please make sure you have updated that mapping with any changes. Make sure you have watched the end of financial year 22-23 webinar and completed all the steps mentioned in the webinar, including finalizing your 22-23 wages. Make sure any employees that are terminated in financial year 22-23 have got the termination reason filled in the termination section of Wagemaster. Make sure your superannuation has been updated to 11% in each award that has active employees. Unpaid leave reporting is not required anymore under STP2. I'll now pass the webinar on to our payroll consultant, Malika, who will demonstrate STP2 Part B, import in the software.
Okay, thank you, Drew. Okay, everyone. So now that we understand the overview of what needs to be done, I will take you through step by step through the STP2 Part B. Best practices and housekeeping for Single Touch Payroll Phase 2 or Part B. All of you will receive the new Wagemaster version update. Also, you can download it from the Acrimaster Help Center by searching Install Wagemaster and open the designated STP2 mapping folder. Most of you have this on your desktop as we recommended. Okay, so preliminary actions or housekeeping actions, how you can download the latest version of Wagemaster once it's available. You will receive notifications on your file manager, and also you will receive email communication from us once the program is available. So you go into the download, click on install, follow the wizard. It's pretty straightforward. Then you can click on the Acrimaster icon on your desktop, so it will open the file manager. Then once you put your credentials, you can see the Wagemaster and also your Acrimaster files. Then you can open the Wagemaster file. As soon as you open the Wagemaster file, just make sure you can see the STP and the STP2 setup icon, as you can see on the slide. highlighted. So this is to confirm this new version is enabled with STP2. All right, so in depth, once we completed the installation, as you can see in here, so both STP and STP2 setup icon should be available. Please ensure that you have completed the STP2 Part A mapping before you initiate the STP2 Part B setup, as you have completed the setup, the STP2. So once you complete the setup with the STP2, a program will not let you to reverse back to the STP1. So it is very critical you all complete the mapping prior to the STP2 setup. All right, so I have already downloaded the setup file for the latest version of the Wagemaster. This is actually a test version, as the access group is still working on the releasing on the final version. I will quickly work you through the installation wizard. Okay, it is in my desktop. So this is the setup I just downloaded. I'm pretty sure many of you come across with this installation wizard. It's nothing changed. It's pretty much exactly the same steps. Okay, almost there. All right, so it's complete the installation wizard. So finishing there. Now I'm gonna open it from my file manager. So as soon as I open it, so the first thing I can notice is I do have an STP icon, and also it got STP2 setup icon. In here, you can see a wage easy version. This, as I said, it's a test version, so it might not be the correct final version number. It might be changed. It might be stayed same. All right, so before we go into the STP2 setup, let me quickly recap on STP2 Part A mapping. So due to the limited resources in live webinar, I cannot share two screens at a time, but ideally you can put the Excel mapping data on one screen and open the Wagemaster in another screen. So you can, it will make your life easier, because what you're gonna do, you're gonna go through all your mapping data, then you're gonna put that into the STP to setup. So let me quickly open the allowance mapping. All right, so this is from the allowance mapping that I have already done. So I do have a couple like almost 9-10 allowances. So let's go one by one. So the first one is the bonus. Then the STP2 reporting group will be bonus and commissions. Because I'm using bonus and commissions, there's no STP2 subgroup or STP2 other allowances. Ordinary time, part of the ordinary time earnings, yes, it's going to be a part of my ordinary time earnings. And the child support, it's going to be a deduction, and it's the subgroup of fees, and it's not part of the ordinary time earnings. Yeah. So when we move into the STP2 setup, I will walk you through, but it's not really matters if it's a part of ordinary time earnings or not, but I will walk you through. So when you do the mapping, somehow just complete this column for the ordinary time earnings, because it will give you some idea. It's like more reviewing in your allowances. All right, so the next one is hours gross per ton. So you might have employee who you're paying per unit, like shearers. So this is similar. So it is an addition. So STP2 reporting group will be gross because they earn in their gross, and it is a part of ordinary time earnings. So I do have a foreign allowances. Again, it's an addition because it's an allowances in STP2. It's going to be coded as allowances. Then the STP2 subgroup will be tool. Then I do have a laundry allowance per uniform. So again, it will be allowances, and it's laundry. Meal allowance, again, it's an allowance. It's an STP2 subgroup will be other, and it's will recorded under general. Then rental deduction, again, it's a deduction, because if it's a deduction, of course, it will automatically picking it as a deduction. Because this rental is workplace giving, so the two difference in deduction subgroup will be one of will be fees and the other will be workplace giving. So if you're employer renting your farmhouse or part of farmhouse, it will be workplace giving, and it's not part of the ordinary time earnings. Shearers per unit, again, it will be gross. Tool allowances, it will be category under allowance, and the subgroup will be tool. Uniform allowance, it will be another allowance. So it's similar to laundry, but because I'm giving them allowance just for uniform, I can code it as in other as a subgroup category. Then I can put it as a uniform. Vehicle allowance per kilometer, it will be an allowance, and the cents per kilometer would be the subgroup. So that's all about the allowances mapping. Let me quickly bring you through the taxation mapping. All these are my employees for you can't see it's their employee number, last name and first name due to some privacy regulations. So you're gonna see their tax file numbers in this column and what's tax table they are currently attached to. So I do have some working holiday makers. So the STP2 tax treatment will be working holiday maker. Most of them will be salary and wages like these ones. Then I do have two seasonal workers. So if you're selecting seasonal workers, then you have to select the category, whether they are regular, senior, foreign residents, or no tax file number or ADO defined. If you select senior, in this column, you have to select whether they're single, married, or illness separated. Okay, so I try to do my best. I'm gonna put this into half screen, and I will to bring this allowance mapping. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the STP2 setup. So the first screen, you will gonna get an introduction about company details. So basically, you reviewing your current company details, award payments, allowances and deductions, leave types, award and loadings, union fees, fields or employees like income type, tax details, and terminate reasons. And also, finally, we're gonna go through the STP Gateway. So in this screen, you can quickly review your company details. Just make sure it has up-to-date details in regards to the contact details and all your address and phone numbers. And if you can notice here, if you are an employer registered for working holiday maker, you need to tick this box. If you forget to do this, you can do this later on in the program as well. Now, these are the award payments. So it's going to list you all your current awards, and also it will give you reporting group, like if it is a gross or overtime, anything that's excluding from the STP reporting. So it's pretty much, it's a bit automated. It's automatically picking up as per your awards name, and it's convert into the reporting group. But You just need to make sure you go through one by one and just make sure it is being updated and it's mapped out correctly. If you find out it's something not right here, then you have to go back. You can exit out from this award setup, STP2 setup. Then you have to manually adjust that in the awards. All right, now we comes to the allowances and deductions. As I said, so the first one is bonus, which be an addition. So the reporting tax group, the bonus and commission. There's no reporting subgroup and no allowances. So it's doing some smart things as well. So as it's like filtered and it's interlinked with these 3 columns. If you select bonus and commissions, you can't accidentally select any of that because it's not needed. All right, so the uniform allowance, if you can see here, it will be allowance other. Other, maybe uniform. Right, then tools, of course, in going to be an allowance. It should be 2. Laundry allowance, that's the one. So allowance laundry. Shearers per unit, so it's maybe the gross, and you don't have to select anything. Hours gross per ton, again it will be gross. Vehicle allowance per kilometer, so it will be an allowance cents per kilometer. Okay, meal allowance, it'd be allowance other general. Child support will be a deduction. It'd be fees. Rental deduction, it will be deduction. It'd be workplace giving. The last one, phone allowance, be allowance item, B2. Right. So once you fill all the required fields in this wizard, then only you can go into the next. Otherwise, you will get prompt saying you need to complete whatever you missed out. Then you can move into the next. All right. So as I see, it says a reporting subgroup must be selected. Okay, which one I just missed out? Should be general. Okay. Let me go one by one. Yes. Should be 2 allowance. Right. So it has to be completed. Otherwise, you're gonna get the same pop-up saying you need to complete that one. All right. So the allowances part is complete. So exactly that's why the mapping is very important. So if you done your mapping correct, it will be like it's straightforward for you. It's very easy. So you just cross-check whatever you got in the Excel sheet, just to make sure you got the same thing in here. All right, let's move into next. Okay, I think I accidentally. All right, so the leave types. So all the paid leaves will be automatically picking up. If you do have any unpaid leave categories, so in my case, I do have an unpaid carers leave, it will be automatically saying excluding from the STP reporting. So how it's picking up, if you have anything says unpaid, it will automatically exclude it from the STP reporting. But if you don't have a name correct or the name is start with unpaid, you might need to manually adjust it. Like for example, um, if this parental leaves you not paid it, you just need to exclude from the STP reporting. So idea is if you don't have to report any unpaid leaves to the STP2 reporting, all other leaves are fine. It will be reported and part of the STP2 setup. I don't have any loadings or anything, but if you do have it, you can exclude it from the STP2 reporting as well. And then union fees, if you do have one, just make sure they all are up to date. So this is for employee income types, tax details, and termination reasons. If you terminated any employees within the current financial year, you just need to give them a valid reason, like it's a mandatory by the ATO. You must provide them a termination reason. In my case, I don't have any of them, so I can go next. All right, that's a good thing. So working holiday maker. If you do have a working holiday maker, just you need to select the country. In my case, this would be New Zealand. Yeah, nothing to do with the seasonal worker programs or salary and wages. Only thing with the working holiday makers, if you do have any employees, you just need to give them what country they are from. All right, let's quickly recap. So first okay, two. So the allowance, once you complete the allowance, you go into leave types, then you go into loadings, then you go into union fees. Again, with the fields for employee, just make sure if you do have an employee, you just need to provide them a country. Okay, so the final step would be STP Gateway and test the connection. So you just make sure you put your client ID and the password, and you can click on test connection. And just before you click on test connection, just make sure the lump sum electronic letters for financial year. It's called lump sum e-letters. So if you process the lump sum e-letters in 2022, just make sure you leave it as 2022. But if you've done any in the current financial year, you can update it to 2023. So I'm going to leave it on 2022 as it is because it's a test file and we haven't lodged any lump sum e-letters in this one. I'm going to click on test connection. So it's trying to connect to the ATO portal. In this case, it will connect to the ATO test portal, and I got the successful connection. In a live scenario, when you do the test connection, it will actually connect to the ATO live portal. Okay, so if I click on finish now, it's giving me this warning message saying finishing the STP2 setup wizard, enable STP2 reporting. You can start STP reporting as soon as you are ready. Press OK to start STP2 reporting. Press cancel and then save and close to continue using STP1 reporting, but save details already entered in the STP2 setup wizard. So if you're not too sure or if you're not ready to go with STP2 reporting at this stage, you can click on cancel. It will save all the mapped out data in the STP2 setup. The most critical thing is once you go ahead and set up with STP2 setup, you can't revert back to STP reporting. So in this wizard is the final stage where you can either just wait and finalize things in your payroll file, then move into the STP2. But if you go in, then there's no way you can report back to the STP1 again. Right, so if you click OK and acknowledging it, it will finish the STP2 setup. As you can see, I can only see STP2 setup in the STP reporting. So STP1 icon is gone now. Okay, so what I will do, just to walk you through with the STP2 reporting setup, I will process some wages for a couple of my employees. So I will go with the 30th July PPE. I'm gonna enter some sample start time and finish time. And I'm using F10 key. If you remember, that's if you use F10 key, it will copy the entry that you entered for the previous day and it import it into the next day. Once you check the payslip, you can save it. We'll do another dummy pay run. To, let's say, 6 o'clock. And also you can use this 100% view icon so you can see the full screen of your payslip and save the payslip. So I saved 2 payslip now. Now all these steps are stay same. You go into reports, banking, EFT banking process payments. It will ask you to create a backup. Always go ahead and create a backup. So I already created a backup for this one. So it will ask you to do you want to replace it. I'll go ahead and click on yes. Okay. So the first time when you're creating the backup once you set up STP2, sometimes it can take a couple of minutes extra longer. It's because the database is upgraded to STP2. So I will be patiently waiting for that one. So mine is still got like 1 minute to go. Okay. All right, it's down to 20 seconds now. Okay, almost done. All right, so it's complete the backup. Now it's starting the it'll give you this prompt whether you want to change your taxation boundary. You can find more information about end of financial year if you haven't done it yet. We have already completed the free webinar and it's available on our website as well. Now it's opening the electronic funds EFT transfer wizard. These are my bank details. If you update any bank details, you can go back and update the bank details for the new financial year as well. So these are the 2 payslips that I just saved. No taxation contribution to be included. I didn't do any secondary tax. Same with the superannuation, no unions in my file. So I'm going to change this date to just make sure it's on 30th July. Same with the pay period ending date. So it's complete. As soon as you complete the EFT visit, as you can see, it's light STP2 light up with the yellow explanation mark as it used to be. So once you click on the STP icon, you can see there's a pay event available that you can report it to the ATO. So if you click on report to ATO, you will get this declaration part. So as Drew mentioned earlier, if you do have a bookkeeper or farm consulting, or it can be your accountant do the reporting on behalf of you, just make sure the name tab should be under their name. So in my case, this is a test environment with the access group, so it's Debbie Michelle. But if it's bookkeeper doing your reporting on behalf of you, just make sure full name should be your bookkeeper. All right, then accept the declaration part, then click on reporting, then it will send it to ATO. Because this is the test file, it's not actually connecting the ATO live portal. It's actually trying to connect to the ATO test portal, so we can test data from our end. But once the software is fully available, and once you do the STP reporting, you will be connected to the live portal. All right, so the status came as received at gateway, waiting response. That's mean ATO already received the data. They will get back to you whether it's okay or something missing. But most of the time you will receive the successful message in there. All right, so that's in the Wagemaster, and don't worry about this STP2 icon is still got the yellow explanation bug because it's a test file. That's why it's still indicating that the yellow explanation mark. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to exit out from the Wagemaster file. Make sure you always create a backup. Then I'm going to try to import this payslip into the Acrimaster file as well. So if anyone not sure how to do that, it'd be good. Okay. It seems like it's taking its time today. All right, completed. So let me quickly open my file manager. All right, so the Wagemaster file is backing up by going to our support user number. Now I'm trying to open my Acrimaster file. All right, so usually I import the payroll as a transaction, but if you want to import it as EFT, you can. So both are same, both got the import payroll option in there. So go import payroll. All right, so import payslip, it's automatically picking up the latest date payslip to import as 30th July. That's the date we complete the pay run. All right, so it's bringing up 3 payslip. I think I already saved one in there before I start the webinar, but you get the idea. It's 2 payslip have been imported and 3 wages transactions created. Let's see. So as you can see, all these steps are remaining same. So nothing changed in the Acrimaster, how you import the payroll, and especially in Wagemaster, how you do complete the STP reporting. Only change is how you map your data and gets ready your file to migrate to the STP2 reporting. All right, let's go back to our PowerPoint presentation. So in regards to Working Holiday Maker, as you can see, there's the new update in there. If you are a registered employer for Working Holiday Makers, just make sure as I walk you through, you can check the box once you doing the setup on STP2. But just in case if you forget it, if you go into the file company details and under tax configuration, as you can see on this slide, there will be new checkbox available for registered employer for Working Holiday Maker. Then you can take that box and use the close to icon to save it. Let's move to next slide. So STP deadline and deferrals. So you must update by 30th September for STP2 reporting in this last day for WageEasy customers. If you are not ready by the cutoff date, you can apply through ATO online services as well. So if you go into the ATO portal and search for deferrals, you can find more information in there. But all the WageEasy customers covered up until 30th September. Okay, if you don't have a time and need more help, I can understand some of you might find out even in this webinar, because we don't have enough time to cover all the aspects of payroll, and but there can be a more complicated situation that you're having from your end. So we do have one-on-one consults are available at a chargeable service, and also the customer success team is available free of charge for basic questions. And also it's a very busy time from our end as well. So you might find we need some more time to resolve some of your questions. So please be patient with that as well. But yeah, if you, as I said, if you have a more complicated payroll or more complicated situation with seasonal workers or working holiday makers, so you can always request one-to-one consults, so we can provide our services and walk you through with the just to make sure you are doing the right thing for STP2 reporting. All right, as in summary, so after today's session, you should be able to transition to STP2 from STP1, aware of the benefits for employers and employees, understand the key changes in STP2 reporting, aware of what is not changing, understand the deadline extend to 30th September 2023 for Wagemaster customers. All right, so thank you for listening, and I will place you on hold for a few minutes to give you a chance to ask any questions that have came through, and I will be back shortly. Okay, everyone. Seems like we're getting a few more questions. So we're trying to answer them one by one. Just be patient with us. But I will make sure we go through all the questions. Thank you. Okay, everyone. What I will do, I just want to go through some important factors about way of working in Single Touch Payroll Phase 2. First, you can now download the latest version of the Wagemaster software from Acrimaster website under Install Wagemaster, as you can see in here. Should be under Install Wagemaster, STP1 and STP2. So there will be two sections, one for customers who are not ready to migrate. You can still download the previous version. That's the one in blue. So if you are already complete the STP2 Part A mapping and you are ready to migrate, you can download the latest version in the one in red. So there's another thing I just want to make sure. If you're not sure with how to process single touch payroll, we have created detailed step-by-step in the help article. So it says how to process single touch payroll reporting. So you can have a quick review just to make sure you're doing the right thing. And there's another critical help article that we have created overall STP process. So the one of the critical thing when report in date order. So now with the STP2 reporting, it's more streamlined with few government agencies. It is very critical that you do the STP reporting on or before the payment date. So payment date by mean before you initiate the transaction or before you deposit the wages into the employee account. So failing to report on or before the payment will cause some discrepancies. So please make sure you do the STP reporting on or before the payment date. So you can have a quick read through this one, this help article. So it says what are the critical steps that you should follow in the STP reporting. And there was one repetitive question in regards to STP to Part A mapping. So once you complete the mapping, then if you make any changes to allowances, your tax table, and if you hired or if you terminated any employees, so pretty much if you make any changes to your current payroll file, yes, you need to go back and update that in the mapping tools. It can be a casual employee, it can be a full-time employee, it doesn't matter. If you make any changes, you need to go back and check your mapping tools first, just to make sure it is updated. If you see, okay, few employees are missing, then you have to go back one step, then do the mapping, complete the mapping, then start to then install the latest version of Wagemaster, and then follow this STP2 setup. I will have a quick look on any other questions I can go through quickly. Okay, we're getting more questions in this webinar and this STP2 reporting, guys. We're trying our best to go through one by one. So just be patient with us. We will go through all the questions which help to other attendees as well. Thank you. Okay, to become a registered for working holiday maker, it cannot be just tick in the Wagemaster program. You need to register with the ATO first, but to replicate that in the payroll software on the Wagemaster, that you just need to tick it. So by ticking it Wagemaster, it didn't, you will be registered for the ATO. So you need to register for the ATO first, then replicate that in the Wagemaster. If you go into the ATO website, you can find an online form. This you can become a working holiday maker employer. So that would be helpful. Okay, so what's the difference between termination and cessation of employee? It's the same thing. So it can be so the idea is you just need to give them a reason what happened, why this employee terminated. It can be a voluntarily terminated, as you can see most of the casual employees or seasonal workers. But if there is any like a breach of conduct or something happened with that employee, ATO will get that data as well. So that's why they're required to give you from the termination reason. Can you delete obsolete allowances? Yeah, if you notice that there are allowances on your file, but you haven't used it very recently, you can try to delete the allowances by going to setup allowances, and there should be a delete option. But if you use those allowances very recently, it won't let you to delete it. Then you have to map pretty much you had to migrate that allowances into STP2, even though you're not going to be using it. Yeah, whenever you have a new employees or new allowances, or if you make any changes to the employees tax table after you mapping, you have to update that first, Robin, in the Excel sheet. Then you can start the STP2 setup. Can you please explain the lump sum e-financial letters? So in previous financial year, before even the STP1 start, with the group certificate, if you process any lump sum payments for your employees, you're supposed to give them a lump sum electronic letter. Now with the STP2, there's no need. It will be included in the STP reporting. So this is pretty much if you whenever the last time you process a lump sum payment. So if you last time you processed in 2023 financial year, you can select it as 2023. Is the latest wages download available? Yes, as I show you on the Acrimaster website. If you you can Google it, install Wagemaster. You can find the latest version available now. Okay, a week or two ago, Wagemaster version was updated, released. It's a new version. Is this the correct version to download and put this on STP2? There was a new version, but that's not the final version. So just make sure you go through the Acrimaster Help Center and download the latest version. So one in the red is the latest version, but if you just only download that and initiate the STP2 setup once you complete the mapping. Okay, my file allowances still shows things such as JobKeeper. How can I remove them? Again, Jody, you can try to remove them on click on setup on your Wagemaster, then from the drop down select allowances and go through one by one. Just try to delete all the unwanted allowances that you haven't used recently. But if, as I said, if you use it recently, it won't let you to delete it. In that case, you still have to map it into the STP2. Can you please help? I think okay, seems like Angela having some audio issues. Angela, the full recording of this webinar going to be uploaded into our website soon, and also it will be available in YouTube. Hopefully you can find it. If I am registered as working holiday maker employer but don't currently have a working holiday maker employee, do I still have to tick that box? Yes. If you are registered and a working holiday maker as an employer, even though you don't have any employees at the moment, you still need to tick it. Okay, we also received some good feedbacks. Thanks for that. Okay, so why did the guy on webinar say that it wasn't ready for STP2 yet? Because we only released the latest version just after the webinar, so we want to we try our best to make it really simple for many of our customers. That's why we didn't release it yet, because now we at the very end of the webinar, we release it. Okay. Yeah, so seems like we went through all the questions now. I will wait for a couple more minutes for if any of you having any questions, please raise it. Thank you. Okay, if you find this is a bit, it's a change for way of you working, and if you don't have any time, and if you want to make it 100% sure that you're doing the migration correctly, we, as I said on the webinar, we provide many help to our customers. You can even book in a one-to-one consult and also raise a one of our quick review sessions with one of our payroll consultants just to make sure you mapped out the data correct and you follow in the correct steps. Yeah, there's plenty of help available from Acrimaster customer support team. If you're not sure with anything, please raise a ticket or give us a quick ring. Okay, as there's no more questions, we will end the webinar. And okay, just one more came through. Can you repeat reporting before payment date requirements? Okay, I think asking about the payment date in single touch payroll. So, so as per the ATO requirement, you need to report the STP or single touch payroll prior before you initiate the wages transaction into the employer's bank account. So in a simple way, you need to report. So once you, the first step would be you save the payslip, then you report it to the STP, then you import that into Acrimaster. Then once it's been through the ATO, then you can process the payment from your internet banking to the employee's bank account. So you cannot pay the employee first and then report it. So you have to always report the payments or your pay slips to the ATO first, then do the transaction. Hopefully it makes sense. But you can go through the overall STP process help article to get in detail. And if you're not sure, just give us a quick ring. Okay, Sarah, asking another good question. Once STP2 setup all done and later in the year you update the allowances, do you have to redo the mapping? No. So the whole idea in mapping to whatever your existing data on your payroll to migrate into the STP. Once you fully migrated into the STP2 and you start reporting under STP2, there's no need to mapping again. So all this will be going forward will be stay same. So if you're adding elements, adding a new employee, changing the tax table and everything, pretty much stays same. So it will be reported under STP2. So there's no need to redo the mapping again. Literally just registered for working holiday maker online, very easy. Yeah, as Tracy said, it is very straightforward a step. Doesn't require your accountant assistance or anything. Pretty straightforward. There's plenty of help with the ATO side as well. So that's good to know. Okay, everyone. Yes, there's no more questions. We will end the webinar now. This recording will be available on our Acrimaster website and YouTube as well. So for you to watch it again in later. And as I said, plenty of help available from our side. We're trying our best to help you guys and just make a smooth transition in with the STP2. If you're not sure with anything, having any questions or anything, and if you like to get an consult from our end, please raise a ticket and give us a quick ring. All right, have a nice day, and we leave it to guys then. Thank you. Bye.